Last year, about 37% of adults in Tennessee reported symptoms of anxiety or depression, which is higher than the national average of about 32%. Here to tell us a little bit more about the stigma surrounding mental health is Dr. Tim Perry with Frontier Health. Dr. Perry, thanks for coming back on First at 4 today.
Thank you.
Well, first off, we know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, always an important topic, but a great time to highlight this issue.
Absolutely, and actually this May being a mental health awareness was actually started as a way to address stigma and the lack of access to mental health services. So it's a great time to actually talk about this and help people be aware of this problem.
And when you say mental health, it is such a wide topic. It is such a wide, array of issues. So let's kind of talk about just how broad it can be, but also just how narrow it can be.
For some people, it is simply a relationship issue, temporary issue. It can formulate through grief or other behavior problems or things going on in the family to serious psychosis, which can be chronic and long-term or lifetime. So it has a very broad section. It doesn't mean because you're dealing with something emotionally that the mental health symptoms that you are labeled as mentally ill, although those are mental health symptoms that need to be addressed, whereas other people may need long-term care. So it is very broad as far as how we define mental health.
And let's talk a little bit about how you know when something is temporary versus when maybe you should go seek out some help and there could be a permanent issue there.
We usually measure mental illness based on daily functioning. How is these symptoms of what it is you're dealing with affecting your daily functionality? Are you able to deal with things normally, cope with things normally? Are you able to go about your daily routines normally, go to work, do the things that you would normally do? If it's beginning to have a significant effect on your ability to daily function, then I recommend going and getting assessed. It may be something that's very minor, that takes a very short-term coping strategies to work on, or it could be something more serious that may take medication.
And we know that, oftentimes it is difficult to maybe find a therapist, maybe even to get in. I know that right now there are some, issues with folks, being able to even get in for that first appointment. What are some things they can do in the meantime as they get ready for that potential, step in life?
Well, first off, notice the things in your past that you've been able to cope with. If you've had a tragedy or a crisis or something major in your life, but you were able to deal with that, what strategies did you use then that helped you overcome whatever that challenge was? Whether it was something that you did for yourself, getting out and helping someone else, getting out in nature, what were some of those things? So go back and connect to the strengths that you already possess to help you overcome the challenges that you're facing, whatever those emotional challenges are, and keep on pressing to get into that treatment. It may be as simple as an assessment to see, is there something more serious, or is it something that I just need short-term talk about?
And let's talk about those strategies, because oftentimes some people just like to shut things out. They don't want to address it. But how important is it to address it and to use those strategies?
Well, it's very important, first of all, to recognize when you've got something going on in your life that's overwhelming you. It's no shame or it's no sign of weakness to actually recognize that there are things that we face in our daily life that can be overwhelming to us. So the first step toward helping yourself to overcome that is recognizing when you're actually feeling that overwhelming or that sense of, I just can't deal with what I'm dealing with right now, whether it's the stress or whatever. One of the things that came out of the pandemic was the sense that we all were faced with anxiety. Some people coped with it differently than others, but we all were able to talk about it. So actually opening up and talking about, listen, my life is so stressful right now, it's hard for me to deal with. I need a little help. That's a sign of strength and self-recognition, and that helps you move toward progression for healing.
Well, Dr. Perry, always a pleasure and great advice every time you come on. Thank you for coming back here on First at 4. But for more information about mental health awareness, you can contact Frontier Health. Their email is right there on your screen.